Alright, welcome everybody. So today I'm going to give you guys the setup for your Islamic tile project. You'll be getting a square sheet of paper that has already got tick marks along the sides. And it's important to note that the corner between those two sides that have the tick marks is going to be the center point. Okay, and that's really important to remember because the whole design is going to reflect around that corner. Okay. The other thing to keep in mind is that you want to use these reference points when you end any of your design that is going off either edge. Okay. Yes, some of your design has to go off. Not all of it has to go off the edge. So you can do some interior designs where that does not matter where they are, because they're not going to have to reflect on an edge. So to start, I might go from this second tick mark in, and that means whatever I do in here is fine, but then it has to end at this 1, 2, second mark there. Okay? So you can use line, but sometimes it's best to use shape. Okay, so I'm going to do something that comes up like this. I'm also going to use the third line. It's going to come up like that. It's going to go over and then down, and then it's going to go under itself to the second, and then of course also to the third. Okay. So you can use a ruler for these. I'm just using freehand. Doesn't really matter. I mean, obviously it does if you want it to be nice and straight. Okay, so there's my first design, and you can see it lines up here and there. Okay, so let's say I wanted to just put a large circle here, and then a small one, and a small one. That's fine. Okay, they don't touch the edge, so you can place them wherever you want. All right. So now what I might do is perhaps a line that goes and curves to this one, and it's at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to curve to that one. Okay, and then I think I'll just connect them with a straight line like this. Okay. So that is an example of just a line that meets at the same spot. Okay, so maybe I'll do a diamond, and it starts just on the other side of that, so I'm going to use some symmetry. Okay, so when I say symmetry, if you turn it this way, this line to line here is going to be your symmetry, right up through the middle. So whatever you do on this side, try and do on that side, and it can get really intricate. Okay, so I think I'm going to do one more go behind or overlap, and I think I'm going to come out and out, in, in, and that's at the last two. So right here and here. So it's going to come out, in, out, something like that. So they might not look the same, and that's okay. They don't have to. It might create some really cool design when you start reflecting it. But here's the trick. See, they line up, right? So let's say they don't line up. Okay, so here's my 1/4 of a design. Right? And I'm going to go ahead and reflect it, so I'm going to turn it. Ugh, what happened there? Well, if you look, the tick marks on this are gone, but this one is very short distance from the corner, and then this one is a long distance from the corner. So when it rotates, it doesn't line up. Okay? Let's look at one that does line up. So here's 1/4 of my design. Okay? And you can see that tick marks were erased because this was in its final stages, but this ends the same distance here to here. Okay, so when I rotate it, look at that. It lines up. Okay, and if it's a little bit off, you can see that this one is slightly thin and thinner than that one. It's okay. You can make them line up because they'll be much closer than they would be if you didn't have that to line up at all. Okay, so you can kind of force it to work. So you'll see this 1/4 then turns into this design. Okay, this 1/4 turned into that design. Okay, so I have one that's already done here, and so your next step is to Sharpie it once you're all finished, and then we'll go to the next step after this video. Okay.